They can't gaslight us anymore. They can't. All right. They pretend that we are criminals. They pretend that it is our fault and that people are underprivileged, that white people are killing black people across the United States. And it's all a lie. It's just to stoke fires, stoke race wars. So we stop paying attention to what's happening behind the curtain. All right. We got black people that kill white children in the name. All right. In the name of the leftist cause. But it never gets to the news. It never gets to the news. But anything, all right, anything involving somebody that even seems white, it's plastered all over the news, all right? But it's just a lie because black people and white people love each other. They get along, all right? 99.9% of all black and white people I've ever met, all Hispanics, everybody, you show respect to each other. Everybody's good to go. All right. I don't know what world people are living in. Maybe it's everyone over 100K lives in La La Land. But I grew up poor. All right. I grew up shitty. All right. And when you make less than a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. You're all in the shit together. You know it. And I know it. This race crap, it's a lie. And you have con artists and cowards that take advantage of those lies. Con artists, cowards, little bitches like you. Like you, Hawk Newsome, the leader of BLM New York City. Hey, my parents were from New York City. Wow. He believes in that critical race garbage. And you know what he likes to do? He likes to shove it in people's faces. He likes to use it as a crutch, as an excuse. But the real thing, the real secret is that it was taught to him by white Democrats who were truly racist, white Democrats who created the ghettos, white Democrats that put these thoughts in his mind, put these thoughts in his parents' mind. Those are the real white privileged people. They just have their story screwed up. This is a case of ignorance, and this man's been brainwashed his whole life. All right. And he was smart enough to get to this leadership position, which means at some point he recognized that it was all bullshit. It was all a lie, but he could make some good money fucking his own people. Because that's what BLM does. The group BLM fucks its own people and profits off it and then convinces them that they're standing up for black lives. Just because the group does a couple good things in a couple places to mask all the bad things they do for their own people, that's a shame. That should be exposed. That's been exposed, but it constantly gets hidden by the left, the Democrats, the mainstream media, the elites, because preying upon black people, the classic Democrat move, all right, preying upon black people is profitable for them. That is modern day slavery. That's slavery of the mind. I saw a meme that showed a white guy, all right, and it said something to the effect. It was Edward Norton from Fight Club, just a normal white guy. And then it said something to the effect when a Democrat finds out you're a black conservative. And then it shows him slowly transforming into the character he played from that movie he was in. What was that? American History X. It was about the neo-Nazi guy. It's a screwed up movie, and a lot of people have used it for a lot of bad things. So we're not going to go into a lot of it, but it's a true definition of the left. All right. Those Democrats are real racists. The Democrats were the slaveholders, folks. Nobody ever switched spots. All right. The Democrats were the ones causing the separation of black and white people, the segregation. They were causing those problems. All the times in our country's history where black people have either been freed, black people have been given the rights, where black people have been restored to equality where they should be. All right. All of those times it was a Republican fighting racist Democrat policies. It's unfortunate, but your grandma's dead. Your grandma's grandpa's dead. Everybody that knew the truth is dead, and they've been rewriting our history for years. The left is evil. And there's unfortunately a huge amount of people that are good people, and they've been brainwashed. They've been taught since they were little kids that sin is in, it's good to murder babies, and black people are screwed and will never get ahead. The truth is that there are plenty of black people out there that kick ass and do awesome things and work their ass off and get ahead. And there are a lot of black people that get screwed because they're living in screwed up, fucked up places that were put together and built by white leftist Democrats. Don't blame all white people, all right? The small part of the black community that gets mad, that wants to be infuriated, that wants to burn shit down, that wants to freaking hate white people. Don't hate all white people. Use your noggins and be specific. The Democrat people, the Democrat leftists, those white old school folks, the Joe Bidens of this country, put you in that position. It's all left-wing policies in Chicago, in New York, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, all over the country. Left-wing Democrat policies fucked your family. They should be paying reparations if we want to talk reparations. They should be kissing your ass and giving you what you need. They should be coming up with better things, but instead they fucked you for years. Don't blame all of us. It's the lefties. Plain and simple. We are on your side. We want to see equality. We want to see all races, all minorities, everybody lifted up and given the same opportunities in this country. But it's never going to happen as long as Democrats keep their foot on your neck. Plain and simple. Earlier today, there was a segment on Fox News. All right. Martha Maccallum, she's an anchor on Fox News. She came out and interviewed this coward, this con artist, this snake oil salesman, this pussy, Hawk Newsome. All right. And he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. He was emasculated by her. He showed his true chauvinist colors, his true woman-hating colors. All right. He showed that he is a coward. He showed that he is a victim complex. He had to virtue signal to cover up for his own insecurities. His own insecurities. And if he hears this and he actually gets mad, that's the proof that he's insecure. If he feels a rage build up deep inside of him, and I'm talking straight to you, Hawk, if you feel that deep inside of you building up, if you feel that, my friend, is called insecurity. It makes you an incomplete man. And if you're wondering why you're incomplete, if you're wondering why something happened where you betrayed, left behind, things are hard for you and the people around you, it's not because of people like me. It's because of Democrats that fucked your shit up for generations and then gaslighted you to believe it was us. Their policies screw stuff up, plain and simple. All right. We can fix police. We can make things better. All right. But the laws that are in place put the police into those positions. You see, you have to fix all the problems from all the different angles. It's not just black and white, 1 and 0, on and off. It's not so simple. All right. You don't know what you're talking about because you've been lied to, Hawk. You've been lied to. So wake up and join the Reveille or fuck off. All right. Let's watch this video. Let's watch Maccallum school, absolutely school this guy. If I can find the video.
There will be riots, there will be fire, and there will be bloodshed. I am not threatening anyone. I am just saying that as a natural response to aggressive oppression, people will react.
So when he says that there will be riots, fire, bloodshed, what if a bunch of white people went out and just started burning down buildings and looting? Like, I'm Jewish. All right. I get attacked by Nazis on Gab all the time. There's a lot of great people on Gab, too, but it's a free speech place. So there's a lot of shitty asshole Nazis on Gab. And they call me a kike. They call me a dirty Jew. They say all kinds of bad things about me that are very, very hurtful. So if a bunch of Jews went out and started burning buildings down, would that be considered a natural response? No, we'd all be in jail. This has nothing to do with a natural response. It's about tribalism coming from all angles. And this woke leftism, this BLM nonsense, it's tribalism. It's hate. It's racism. It's redistribution of wealth. It's not fair to be me, so give me everything you have. And if you don't, we're going to fuck everything up and burn it all down. We're not going to be held hostage. We don't negotiate with terrorists. And that's what BLM is. And that's what this man is. You, Hawk, you're a terrorist, a shitty, cowardly terrorist.
Black Lives Matter of Greater New York co-founder Hawk Newsome last month after meeting with New York City Mayor-elect Eric Adams about his plan to crack down on crime by returning the plainclothes officer unit to New York City streets. It was disbanded in the summer of 2020. So Adams is a retired NYPD captain, and he reportedly fired back with this quote: "We are not going to surrender to those who are saying, quote, we're going to burn down New York, not my city."
So remember, this is a Democrat mayor. All right. Remember, this is the guy taking over for Bill de Blasio, who's literally destroyed New York City. It is a crime-infested sewer now, run by delinquents and criminals. Everybody should be put in prison. All right. Hey, BLM people. All right. Why don't you actually do the right thing and fight for the reform of these different systems in the right way, work in a bipartisan manner? All right. But no, because you're not actually after change. All right. People like Hawk, they're Marxists. They're after the destruction of the system. Remember, take a look right there. The Biden administration isn't incompetent, and they aren't economically illiterate. They're sabotaging what's left of our free market because the structure has to collapse to build back better. You can't have a socialist utopia without the complete destruction and collapse of New York. Put enough crime, death, and destruction in the streets, eventually the system will collapse. You are not smart, Hawk. You are not going to destroy the entire city. You're not actually helping. Just because, you do a little here and there doesn't mean you're actually seeing it from the big picture. You have been lied to by the left. You've been lied to by Democrats. Start putting your head together with smart people and start listening instead of talking, which is what you're going to see him do in this video.
He said. Pete Hegseth is standing by with his response. But first, let me bring in Hawk Newsome to respond to that. Hawk, thank you very much for being here. When you listen to the words of Eric Adams.
Look, this guy's wearing a shirt. First off, he looks exasperated to be talking to a white woman. Critical race theory is American history. That's what he says. No, you've been lied to. It's BS. All right. That is a white lie that's been sold to the race traders that are screwing you over. The black people that have pushed this movement, the Ibram Kendis, they're not smart people. All right. They're not smart people. All right. But they've lied to you. They're making money off people like you. Plain and simple.
And I know we covered the meeting that you had with him not that long ago. What goes through your mind? What's your response to him on that?
Well, the mayor is engaging in a political circus, and my parents didn't raise a clown. So
oh yeah, they did. You are a clown.
Political games with him. I'll say this: the mayor.
When you come off the first part of your conversation and say, "My parents didn't raise no clown," that is covering up. And trust me, I've taken Psychology 101. That is covering up an insecurity. All right. That has been you your whole life, walking around feeling like people looked down on you and thought you were stupid, thought you weren't intelligent. So you have to say it. My parents didn't raise no clown. They did, because you are stupid, because your ignorance has led you to be brainwashed by Marxists, and that makes you stupid.
Here took a trip to Africa, which wasn't covered by the press. His appointees wasn't covered by the press. So he threw my name out there so he can get in the media. Look at what happened after we engaged in this back and forth.
He threw my name out there so he could get his name in the media. You're propping yourself up for clout. You're saying, look how important I am. This mayor was nothing. What do you mean? He just won on a pro-police forum. He's more famous than you'll ever be. Nobody knows who you are. They only saw your face when you threatened to burn down New York. People know who you are because you're a terrorist. You're on the wanted list. That's why people know who you are. You don't like this guy because if you keep doing what you're doing when this guy's mayor, you're going to jail. Plain and simple.
He was on Colbert. He was on Anderson Cooper. He was on Bill Maher. I made him famous, right?
I made him famous, right? You need that validation? I made him famous, right? She didn't even agree. Look at the look on her face. Like, what the heck? This guy is literally a fraudster. He's a good talker, a silver-tongued snake oil salesman. You don't know me, though. I'm a Jew from South Florida with parents from New York. I can talk circles around you, son. Mr. Hawk, you look like an asshole.
And if the mayor truly cared about what's best for the city, he would have talked about the things we agreed upon in that meeting. But he didn't want to discuss that, Martha.
Well,
he just
here's
wants
what
this hype and
here's
this
what he's saying.
attention.
He says he wants to bring this unit back. Listen to what he said. He said, I was elected and this is what I ran on, and I'm going to follow through on that because that's what the people of New York City have asked me to do. Watch this.
I said I was going to reinstitute an anti-gun unit in plain clothes. Voters voted on that. They're going to have their body cameras on every interaction. We're going to use precision policing to identify the gang members. We removed the precinct level plainclothes unit. That was a bad decision.
So since that unit was...
It was a bad decision. That unit was responsible for taking out gun violence, taking out gang violence, but they got rid of them. And what's happened? Murders have skyrocketed.
Disbanded. We've seen homicides almost double in New York City. So he's saying, I want a safe city. And a lot of New Yorkers respond to that really positively. They want a safe city. They want to be able to go out in the streets. They don't want people breaking the windows and stealing stuff. They want to see children be safe on the streets. What is wrong with anything that he just said there?
Well, here's the problem. The man does not...
He tries to come off smart at first, but you'll see he gets unhinged. Here's the problem.
...have a plan. He's about to be the...
Yes, he does have a plan. He's going to put the anti-crime police unit back on the street.
He goes, he doesn't have a plan. She literally just played a video talking about the plan. The topic is about this unit, this anti-crime unit, this plainclothes unit. But he's not focused on the picture. See, these Marxists, these BLM leaders, these Antifa folks, they can only talk rhetoric. They use the tendencies and the skill sets of transformational leadership, where you would talk inspirational, and they use big words and they pontificate, but it's all about BS, and it's made to screw with people with low IQs. It's made to brainwash folks that don't understand that they're being manipulated by the English language. So when she tried to focus on a topic, he's zoomed out and expanded. And she goes, wait, no. They do have a plan. He does have a plan. He's going to put this unit back. And this guy goes, wait, let me finish. No, see, this guy just wants a platform to spew hate and nonsense and brainwash people. And she's not letting him. She wants him to stay on target. And he, all right, doesn't like two things. One, he's being put in his place. He's being controlled through this because it's her show. And anybody on, white, black, purple, man, woman, they would have to be led because this is her show. Second, it's a white woman, all right? And this guy is feeling emasculated by a white woman, all right? A woman is telling him and leading him and questioning him on this topic. He's being interviewed on this show. He thinks he's God's gift to earth. He thinks he's famous. He thinks he's Jay-Z, but no, he is just another person. He's a terrorist spewing rhetoric, and he wants to get his rhetoric out to the public. She's just not letting it happen. All right. She's stomping out his fire, and he doesn't like it one bit. Listen to this.
Wait, can you listen? Are you going to yell at me? Are you going to let me make my point? You just talk.
Don't do that.
Right?
Okay, don't do that. All right? Because I can interject and I can say, okay, you just say he doesn't have a plan.
Let me make a statement.
Go ahead.
It's not about let me make a statement. And he rolls his eyes like a bitch. Oh, man. Like a bitch. I wonder how many people have slapped him. Probably not many people have slapped this guy. All right. Not many people have given him the backhand. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about just somebody on the streets, because anybody that's actually taken a whooping in life wouldn't be so disrespectful and talk to people like that. Whoever it was, I wouldn't talk to a middle-aged black woman the way he talks to a middle-aged white woman like that. I would show respect to a black woman. I would show respect to a black woman of any age. All right. I would show respect to any woman of any age, but he has no respect for that. He only has respect for his garbage, his nonsense, his mantra, his lies that he's spreading to convince more people to join his cause. But his cause is shit. And what did President Trump say? Everything woke turns to shit.
Okay.
I just let you go on about Africa and Anderson Cooper, who no one cares about.
The things that he's saying, the things that he's saying, precision policing, focusing on gangs, these are all things that de Blasio said. Crime isn't just up in New York City.
What do you mean? De Blasio got rid of all of those units. De Blasio made it basically a socialist hellhole and allowed criminals to run around, which is why murder is up. It's Democrat policies across the board. Chicago, Democrat policies, murder skyrocketing. San Francisco, Francisco, Democrat policies, murder skyrocketing, murder, rape, crime skyrocketing, Los Angeles, Democrat policies skyrocketing, Seattle skyrocketing, everything skyrocketing, Democrat hellholes. And this man is lying.
It's up around the country. So what is he going to do that's
He's the mayor of
different
New York
other
City.
than talk?
He
He's
wants
had
the mayor.
more time.
I'm telling you,
He's
he wants to
had
put that
more
unit
time.
back on the street. I spoke with a New York City.
What's he going to do? What power does he have? He hasn't even taken over yet. You're ignorant. De Blasio's still in there spreading his commie sauce.
He wants to put the unit
It's my
back
turn
on
now.
the street,
I spoke with a New York City detective who said to me back in June of 2020. Let's take turns here, okay? I let you answer. Let me ask you a new question, and then I'm going to let you respond, okay? I spoke with a New York City detective when that unit was disbanded. He said,
so his actions are defensive, right? Because he's being put on the spot about things he knows nothing about. It's made to cover up his insecurity. It's very easy to read people, folks. It's very easy to read people. He's talking over her because he can't go back and forth. Because if he allows that to happen, she's going to stump him and he's going to look like an even bigger idiot. So he has to keep talking until his time runs out so that he just looks like an obnoxious fool and doesn't look like a dumbass obnoxious fool.
You mark my words. There are going to be kids dying. This is going to be really bad. Let me put up on the screen. 21 children have been killed in the streets of New York, mostly in gang violence. The purpose of this
21 children
to put back on the street, this is his plan. You asked what his plan was to clean up illegal guns, violence, and hard drugs on the street. So I'm asking you, what is wrong with putting this unit back on the street if it keeps children of New York City and adults safer?
Okay, there's this thing called the Constitution, and the Fourth Amendment protects us against illegal search and seizure.
Right.
Secondly, this unit has been responsible for the most high-profile deaths in the city. He isn't saying what he's going to do differently. For your journalistic integrity, just ask the right questions.
So he's saying ask the right questions for your journalistic integrity. He's calling her an idiot, calling her out. He's basically saying that this unit goes around and murders people, but he's not mentioning what those people were doing when things happened. He's not mentioning what gang violence was happening. She's saying that innocent bystanders of the gang violence, 21 children, innocent babies, most likely from the black community, have all died because of gang violence. He's protecting the gangbangers. He's not protecting black people or the black community. He's not protecting good black families that want to raise their kids and raise them in safe neighborhoods. He's not protecting good white families, black families, Hispanic families, any families. He's protecting his own ass and he's placating the gangs. He's placating the violence. He's sucking the teat of the Democrat Party, who is taking their orders from the global left-wing elite. Plain and simple. This poor, poor man, I will pray for you, Hawk. I will pray for you. I will. I hope your soul is saved. I hope you see something different. I hope you find a new perspective. I hope the Lord comes down and blesses you with foresight tonight while you're sleeping, because you are fucking your own people. All right. These policies, this critical race shit, all of this, it's all made up socialist nonsense pushed down on you by white left-wing Democrats. The truth is that if we find a way to meet in the middle, all right, we make things safer and we make things a little better and we sweeten the deal for everybody a little bit. All right, we'll all want to work together. We'll all make things better. All right, we have to hit this from all angles. We have to change the Democrat policy that put black people in ghettos in these cities. We have to change the Democrat policies that make crimes easy to get away with, that make things dangerous, that screw the police and don't allow them to police properly. All right. We have to train them better. We have to give them the money to make them more compassionate officers when they need to be, and make them be them hard freaking mofos when they need to be too. It can't just be one or the other, and they can't be abolished. We have to work together to find inroads. All right. We have to make communities safer, to bring money in, to create jobs, to create wealth for people, and families have to come back to being families again. We can't screw each other. We can't abandon each other. We have to come together. We have to work together as families, as brothers, as sisters, black, white, Hispanic, anything. It doesn't matter. But we can't drink this Kool-Aid. All right. When you're lied to for so long, you become an insecure victim. You become a coward. And it's not Hawk's fault. It's not his fault that he was brainwashed his whole life by a Democrat Party that told him he was a victim, that told him he couldn't do anything special. That's not his fault. What becomes his fault is that one moment when he realized that he was being lied to and he said, I don't care. I want to make my money too. Because for him, it's what it's about. It's about the money. All right. That's what it has to be about. And if it's about something else, if you really have that feeling, Hawk, if you want to come out and have that feeling and you want to say, man, I want to do good things for my community, do all those good things that you do for your community, but also do things to fight for the right laws, fight for the right rights, sit down at the table and have conversations with people and debate until our ideas all work together and mesh together in this great freaking soup, this goulash of brotherhood and diversity where we can solve our problems together. But you can't separate people. You can't go haves and have-nots and say that you're all screwed and everything's fucked up. We know things are different for people around this country. All right. But we also know that we've destroyed racism in this country, that most supremacists are such a small fringe group of idiots. All right. That they're freaking not even paid attention to. All right. Other things need to be changed and reformed, but not the way you're saying. But unfortunately, people like you propagate the lie even further and you just recruit more people. You recruit folks into believing they're victims, believing they're screwed, and you don't let them grow. You steal their futures. This Democrat ideology, this victimhood ideology steals people's souls, screws their futures. And when they finally wake up and go, what have I done? It's too late. But it's not too late for you, Hawk. It's not too late for you.
What is his actual plan? He's just talking and drumming up news stories so that we can get this back and forth going again between two black men instead of talking about the things we agreed upon, which was feeding people good food, right? You want to talk about us being in
feeding people good food? Again, you're deflecting. You're deflecting. The whole problem is gang violence and stray bullets hitting children. And you're talking about the fact that you don't have good food.
Streets, we have a school where we teach kids how to be safe every single day.
You have your own school where you teach kids how to be safe every day. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Today, I spent the day looking for a lost 11-year-old. I don't get paid by the city to do this. I'm not running for office.
Bless you for that.
What is him? See, now he's going on a rant, all defensive. I do this because I saved a kid. We teach children. He can't handle it. It's shattering. His confidence, everything is shattering. He's melting down on public television, showing how weak his arguments. If he watches this video of himself, it should be proof to him that the Democrats have lied to him and brainwashed him and that his policies, his ideas, his whole religion that's based upon the cult-like BS of people like Ibram Kendi and BLM, it's a lie. It's a lie.
There's nothing. That is a good thing.
And you know what? Just one last thing, Martha. One last thing, okay? Nobody wants our communities to be violent, but there are other ways to do it. He's not saying what he's doing differently. Duh, the Democrats have been talking about body cams for the last 4 years. People are poor. You just reported that if inflation is up, people don't have money. People are starving.
People need to be safe.
He's right. He's not lying. Hawk, you're right. But your way of doing it is wrong. Read a history book. Go read about the Bolsheviks. Go read about socialism. Look at the similarities. Read it. Just read it. Take a couple days and just skim through some stuff. What you're trying to do, all right? Getting all these freebies in to take care of people without the other part of the plan, what you're trying to do. All right, without working on changing things from all these other different angles by just blaming it on racism and creating different classes of people. All you're doing is what you've been brainwashed to do by the Democrats, which is follow through with the fulfillment and the prophecy of bringing Marxism and socialism to our great country. It will feel like a fix for a short period of time, but then they will come to claim their prize. All right. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. For a moment, you'll get relief. Your words will turn to ashes in your mouth, and the Democrat whip crackers will come. All right. And they will collect their bounty. You're just empowering rich white leftists. That's what you're doing. Your policies are wrong. Your policies are wrong. I'm telling you right now, it's not because your policies are not going to help. It's helping black people. I want black people to be helped. I want white people to be helped. I want all poor people to be helped. And trust me, I grew up as a poor white kid around a lot of other poor people from all different groups. All right. And we're all the same under a certain amount of income. I get it. I get it. But my friend, you are wrong and your policies are wrong. All right. There has to be a balance between things. There has to be a balance between things to restore our communities, restore our neighborhoods, and restore our families. All right. You are right. People, all right, have been screwed. There are a lot of people ignorant and in shitty conditions. Blame the right people. You want to blame some white people? That's fine. Blame the right white people. All right. Blame the leftists. Blame the Democrats. Don't blame us. Don't blame people that want to see everybody uplifted, because we do. All right. I want to see your community reach the highest level, and I want to see my community reach the highest level too. All right. I don't come from much, but you can't do it with virtue signaling. You can't do it with selfishness. You can't do it being self-entitled, having low self-esteem, being a victim, being emasculated by people. Nah. This life is about networking and respect and working hard and working together and community. You having a community. We have a community. Our community's working together. All right. Some people have done some bad stuff, but it's the left. Let's do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. Have those constructive conversations, but don't be a coward and an insecure little, you know what.
They need to know that the police are going to have their back. They need to know that when they go out on the street,
jobs and opportunities.
Absolutely. Do what you can to keep the kids safe, and let the police officers
can't have jobs and opportunities if the streets aren't safe.
Go out and keep those same kids safe, because they're dying at the hands of gangs who are doing.
See, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to be pulled.
See, and then he pulls out the card, pulls out the racism card. You don't know what it's like.
And thrown up against walls.
No, I don't. I will. I see that too.
Riding in a car with your friends as a college student.
And I'm sorry that happened to you. I really am. But the fact of the matter,
I didn't even get to go to college, bro. I had to go much later.
From a place of white privilege, where
white privilege. See, you come from a place of white privilege. White privilege is a myth. The only people with white privilege are rich leftists. That's who has white privilege. Rich white Democrats that have been rich white Democrats for generations and want to see your people and my people put into chains for their own profit. Those are the people with any type of privilege. Celebrities like The Rock, who praises Joe Biden, who wants to destroy this country. Celebrities like Alec Baldwin, crying on television, fake crying to violins. That's white privilege. Celebrities, rich leftists, that's privilege, brother. You don't know what privilege is. You have no idea what these hands have gone through to get where I've gotten in my life. And it's probably not much further ahead or behind you, my friend. All right. And that is from hard work. It takes many shovels, many calluses, many bloody hands to claw our ways out of poverty and out of garbage. And maybe it should be a little bit easier. But this thing that you're displaying, dude, this stuff that you're showing, this cowardice you're showing, it doesn't make you look strong. You look weak. And that doesn't get a movement going. That doesn't draw attention. Burning down cities just eventually gets a mob to come after your mob. Stop doing that. All right. Actually being a man, being strong, taking action in a responsible political way, trying to be bipartisan, seeing both sides of the issue, working hard with people to come together and find solutions that'll better your community for a long time, not just for a short time. Give us money. Let's do socialist stuff. No. It'll be good for a few months, and then the left will come a-calling. They'll want their cut. They'll burn you to the ground, just like they burn us to the ground, just like they burn everybody to the ground. Get it right. Know who's on your side. All right. Because the right is more on the side of the black community than the left ever will be and ever was. They put you in chains. We freed the freaking slaves. The Republicans freed the friggin' slaves. They didn't want slavery. They didn't want any of this. All right. They fought and died to free the slaves. And we've come for hundreds of years, fought for equality. You guys fought. Martin Luther King fought for equality. You want to make a statement? Get 300,000 people together and walk arm to arm. No violence. That'll make a statement. God bless what Martin Luther King Jr. did, and goddamn what you're doing. Plain and simple.
Don't really understand how they treat us in New York City.
You know what? I want this whole city, people of every background, faith, color, to be safer. And what I see on the street is that is not what is happening since this unit was disbanded. We have
but you see that all over the country. They didn't
I don't care about that. We're talking about New York. You care about New York. You're Black Lives Matter New York. I'm talking about New York City, one of the greatest cities in the country,
I just came
where
back
people
from LA.
should feel safe.
I do this in Houston. I do this in Atlanta. I help Black people all over the country.
He's virtue signaling how much he helps people because he doesn't actually help anyone at all. He's got a guilty conscience. Mama didn't raise no clown, huh? If mama knew your real intentions and what you actually do, what you do behind the scenes, I don't think she'd be very proud of you, Hawk.
A Black Salvation Army.
That's great. Good for you.
In all of these communities. What are you doing? I found a lost kid today. What are you doing to help the greater good?
You know what I just said when you said that?
Look, he feels attacked. Look, what are you doing? I found a lost kid today. What are you doing? Wow, you needed somebody to pat you on the back for that? I won't ever tell you who I've helped, what I've donated to, because it's for me and it's for them. You need to tell the world because you have a desire and a need to feel special. Somebody's got to praise you. Somebody's got to kiss your ass and tell you that you're special. It's soft, it's shiny, and you'll never, ever, ever, ever be the bad guy. But people like you who hurt their own race, who hurt their own people and lie to them straight to their face and tell them that they actually care, that you actually care about Black lives. You don't care about Black lives. The only life you care about, Hawk, is your own.
God bless you. And I would like that child to be able to grow up safely in this city. And we don't have the kind of support that we need because we have diminished these officers and we have put them in a situation where they can't protect that little 11-year-old that you just saved today. And like I said, good for you for the work that you're doing about poverty. But you have to have.
He doesn't understand because he can't comprehend it.
Even in cities where the police precincts weren't defunded, crime is up. How do you explain that?
Democrat policies. You don't have to defund the police to change the laws. You don't.
Crime is up across the country. Okay, you say they defund the police, and no, it is absolutely true.
Well, there's a number of factors with that, but when you look at the big increases in homicides across this country, what you're seeing is that the places where police have been diminished in their ability to...
What are they? When my wife has lost an argument, all right, and I'm trying to explain something, she cuts me off and goes, what are they? That's just a tactic. All right. I'm not saying anything bad about my wife. I love my wife. Everybody's got their thing, but that's one of my wife's things, right? That's from somebody that might have a hard time admitting certain things. I have a hard time admitting certain things, and Hawk has a hard time admitting certain things. Hawk has a hard time admitting when he's wrong. He's wrong. Look at him. Look at his face. He looks nervous. He looks sweaty. He can't believe that he wasn't catered to. He's used to people listening to him, praising him, telling him that he's special, giving him a trophy for things he's never even done or accomplished. And here, some middle-aged white woman schools him. That's totally emasculating. He must feel like he's got the tiniest set of balls and pecker on the entire planet, and that makes him feel shitty inside. And so what does he do? He's got to lash out so he can feel better. That's a child. That's not a man. That's a child. But, you know, they praise this stuff. The Democrats praise this sort of thing. They think that it's great. They think that it's good. This is what they want. And it's not true. All right. It's not true. But meanwhile, the mainstream media propagates it. Nobody will show this interview. They'll show this guy helping a child, which maybe he did help a child. And if he did, good for that child. All right. But at the same time, helping one child doesn't vindicate you from screwing over thousands of other people under the guise of some false movement. All right. Black Lives Mattering is a very different concept than the group Black Lives Matter. All right. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But this is all a distraction. It's all a distraction. While you're not seeing this, and you're seeing BLM and people like that being put on a pedestal, being told how wonderful and how great they are and how necessary they are for change, all of the people in a certain demographic are being sold that Joe Biden and all the other elites are fantastic. You've got Jimmy Fallon having Biden on the Tonight Show. And he tells him, while crime is up in all these cities across the country, when crime is up everywhere, just like Hawk said, Biden's doing a fantastic job. In fact, he's bringing class back to the presidency. But it's all a distraction because there's real stuff going on behind the scenes. All right. The Democrats, like I've said this whole time, are running scared. They're running absolutely scared. All right. But in a second, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be right back. I have been holding in the biggest pee for like the last hour and a half. I'm super duper sorry. You're going to have to wait a second. We'll edit it out. I'll be right back. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. But I don't know, talking about that Hawk guy, reading all that stuff, listening to all that stuff, it made me have to pee. Maybe it was that, or maybe it was the giant drink of purple stuff that I've been drinking for the last hour and a half. But whatever it was, I couldn't hold it anymore. I'm getting old. I have the bladder of a 9-year-old girl, apparently. Whatever. Deal with it. But the point that I was trying to make, the point that I was getting to, is while all this horrible stuff is going on, while they brainwash our kids, while BLM burns down cities across the country, while mass looters smash and grab everything, and people like Hawk get on the television there and tell you how life's not fair and how they should get more free stuff, we're being bombarded in the media by a mainstream organization, a big tech organization, an industrial complex of technology and insane communication that are transmitted and pumped into our phones, into our lives. Jimmy Fallon and everybody else kissing the ass of President Biden and all the elites. But why are they kissing so much ass lately? Is it because they deserve it? Is it because their asses smell like roses, peaches, and cream and champagne? No, their asses are just as stinky and nasty as yours and mine. Well, I just showered, so excuse me. But if you haven't, they're just as bad. If, in fact, I don't know if he even remembers to wipe at this point. But what they're doing is they're covering up for the elite. All right. They're trying to make you think everything is rosy while things are breaking behind the scene.